Well, here we go. Race 1. Let's get it. So, race 1. What they've done is, they've not bothered telling us, but they're running early. So everyone's just running around now. We'll literally go out in 10 minutes. And it's only because the group before us have got called. But they haven't put it out in tannoy that they're running early. Brilliant. So we're all just rushing round. Bike's all ready. Nick's been helping me get bike ready and all that. I had an issue with throttle again. Went into limp mode at beginning of qualifying, if you watched. All right through it, but I've reset it. Hopefully that sorted it. Really don't want them issues today. There's a couple of new lads. I didn't, on entry list, these lads weren't on it. There's a lad who's done a 136. He's like a newcomers. It's him, Gavin, David, then Snowball, then me, and then this other new lad behind me, Andy, and then Lenny. So there's more people in it than I thought, but and they're fast. Do you mind? It is one of them. So let's do it. I start in 26, which middle at pack, to be honest. So might get boxed in, might not. But I forgot to do my practice start. That's the problem. So I did actually forget to do my practice start, which is a bit. Of all things, I wanted to try that. So it looks like I'm gonna have to do it. In fact, I might try it on the. Oh no, we can't because we start up here. But then we go down. Oh, we'll go down, have a sighting lap. So at least I get one practice at launch, and then I can do it. Right, I'll be starting to go out for race 1. I will catch you in a bit. Come on.
How we doing?
Very good that.
I've never come last in my life. Very tiring, that's long.
How good was that? Right, race one. If you watch, but I think it's one of the best races I've had. My position, my start let me down as normal, but didn't get left. I dropped 5 places. I dropped 5 places from, and so but that bit good on that. But I felt like I could keep up. I just couldn't. And once again, Luke Coop. Honestly, Luke Coop all season, I just couldn't get past him. Catching him on brakes, but he blocks them corners really well, and he comes out of them well, to be honest. So Luke did me. I've actually got past Peter today and Graham Pepper. I think, is it Graham? Yeah, Graham Pepper. He's just come up and spoke. Andy's done me. I could see him. You could see him on camera. He's really, really fast on straights, but then you just can't get past on corners, do you know what I mean? I did a couple of good overtakes on brakes. Had a little bit of an error where I went over grass a little bit, which Graham's just like, I was following you, and it like. So overall, I felt that's probably one of my better races where I've not lost the pack. I've actually battled, which is what I was saying earlier in the drive down of the championship standings. If there were more people, more newcomers, it'd be better battling. And I felt like I've battled today with lads, you know, because I've been next to them. What I will say is, fastest ever I'd gone round here, we were a 144 on my old 08 R1. Qualifying, I got a 143.5. Happy as Larry. TSL timings 141. I've got a 141.888. I'm not being funny. If I'd have been 22nd on that lap time. In fact, let me just go and have a look, see where I am on the grid, because it goes on grids. On the grid, where am I? I'm 25th on grid. So hold on, let me have a look at this, right? I think I'm against the wall, so I can go around outside, going into turn 1. So I've actually I've beat loads on time itself, not in the race, but on time itself. I'm 141.88. Yes! 140 tomorrow. If I can get a 140, I'll be well pleased. Overall, absolutely brilliant race. That, like I said, I think that's my best race. Didn't get left behind. Them starts are a nightmare. I don't know if you saw, I did try second gear launch control on the sighting lap. Literally it nearly stalled, so I didn't do that. And then I left it in first for launch for the actual race. Wheel comes up. I was still okay. Not as many people come past, but they still did. To say where I were, I expected more people to come through. So very, very happy with how I finished here. I think the lad who's behind Andy, I think that's the one at newcomers, and he come past me and I didn't realise it were him until after. Wish I'd tagged on. But overall, I had an absolute fantastic race. I loved that race. Can't say enough thanks to Craig Sharman for buying me tyres. They make such a difference. They are fantastic. If you want me to promote your business, or you just fancy looking at a smile on her face, donate a pair of tyres, and I'll certainly name you and certainly thank you. If you're a company, I'll promote your business all the way through. It's what, honestly, that difference. First time I've ever had brand new tyres on a track. I've always used screw, and they were amazing. So, right, I'm going to sign off with you. Big massive thanks to Craig, and I will catch you for race 2 tomorrow. See you later.